And we're going to clear the screen to cornflower blue, which is basically a really lovely blue color that should probably tell you that you probably done something nothing yet, because no one would choose to use that color in a game.
But is that the game then? That
was the whole game right there.
That was it.
We're actually pulling all the stuff. So now let's say we actually wanted to see something. How can I do something really easy? Let's see.
Still being able to just compile and run is cool enough, just out of the box,
There's lots of, so one of the things that's really interesting about this is, let's actually go to one of the starter kits here. So we can take, there's a Space War 360 starter kit, and go ahead and put this in a 360.
And you know this game pretty well.
Yeah, I've actually worked on Space War now too long, frankly. So what we're going to do here is, this is a full starter kit, and this is how the starter kits are going to get distributed. What actually happens is we go in and we build out an entire project that allows you to mod Space War from the beginning. So we have all the content placed into the content directories. We have a content pipeline in Xbox, or as part of XNA, I'm sorry, that will go ahead and compile 3D assets, compile textures, compile sound, compile the shaders, so that all of your content is essentially treated as the same as your code. It's in Visual Studio. We actually process it and build it just like we do the C# code. So here, for example, we've created a brand new Xbox 360 Space War Xbox game. And we have a content directory here. And you can see that we have a bunch of textures in the content directory here. So one of the textures that we have here is probably the Space War title final. So we'll go ahead and run this. This will run Photoshop because that's what's currently bound to a targa as in Windows.
Okay.
So whatever Windows wants to open a TGA file with is going to come up and open that TGA file from Visual Studio, and you can see here.
So there we go.
The Space War splash screen for the.
Now, can you modify that a little bit?
Exactly. So what we're going to do.
Can you do me a favor? Oh, can you do me a huge favor?
Oh, what would you like?
Go to neopolian.com. That's NEOPOL. NEOPOL.com. Okay, now what you're going to see here is a photo of me. Okay, now can you right-click on that image and then copy it in and paste it over Space War, and then have that be in the game?
So we can copy that. I'm not sure if how well this pastes something like that in. Let's find out. There we go.
Good, right in the center. Right. I like that.
So there we go. So now we just basically come in here and we say save. And don't want to save it as a PSD because we don't understand those, but we do understand targas. So we want it as a targa. We're going to save it as, it's going to come out as final copy here, so we don't want final copy. We actually want to overwrite final. And say yes, I want to replace it.
And you're going to put up the whole starter kit with my image in it like that? Okay, good.
So we've gone ahead and saved that out. So we can go to Space War now, and again, we just hit build, and you can see we're actually building all of the content on the PC side here, and this is our content pipeline. What we're doing is we're converting the targas to a binary format that the Xbox and or Windows DirectX can consume much more readily. We're changing the .x or .fbx or filmbox files to, again, a model and mesh format that the Xbox 360 and Windows can consume much more readily. And we're changing the shaders. We're compiling the shaders offline so that you can see your errors here in the shader code. You don't run the game and get a shader error and then have to try and debug that. It's all right here.
Cool.
Fonts, the sound is going to be recompiled here. We could actually go in and run the XAct tool and change the sound for the game if we really wanted to. And then we would actually see that. So now we've built all the content and we're going to go ahead and deploy it to the Xbox. And again, you're seeing each of the files get deployed here as we did them. And again, this is an incremental thing. We didn't change anything actually in the last game, but if we did in this game, for example, if we turns out that Roy's picture doesn't come through on the Xbox very well here, we could go back into Photoshop, clean it up, and when we rebuilt this, we would only rebuild the Space War final TGA, and it would only deploy that file as well as the executable if the executable changed.
So then it'll just be a quick snap little Okay, very, very good.
Want
Cool.
fast iteration because slow iteration is terrible and boring, and, people really don't like that. They don't think that's a feature.
Well, I think the worst part about it here is just that people are going to be so excited to use this, and you know, when excitement goes up, patience goes way down.
Exactly.
It's just like you were talking about. You know, you used to go to the store every day, you know, looking for
That's
Wing
right.
Commander, and
Yeah.
when you're going to the store, did you go to Egghead? Is that where you went?
Yeah,
Back in the day?
Back in the day, it was
Yeah.
Egghead, yeah. Every day.
That was when I used to go there every week and just wander around looking at all the games, and you know, wishing I had a few bucks just to buy one, but.
Yeah. Yeah, that Wing Commander cost me a fair chunk of change back in the day because you know I needed a sound card and then I had to
Right.
see a card,
New computer,
and
time machine, and
yeah. Well, at the
a
time
flux
I had
capacitor.
That's right, exactly. Just to be able to play it again. Had to wire it up so you could get it to the stereo because there's no speakers back in the day.
Okay.
There's no PC speakers back then. So there you
Oh
go.
yeah! Look at that, Rory
Isn't that
Blythe
something?
on the 360 on the
That
Xbox
1080p.
360. Rory Blythe 1080p on the Xbox 360. Man, that is like. You want me to autograph the screen? I can do that.
I bet the actual owner
That
of this
TV was
television
only-
would really love this. Yeah, this is about a $3,000 TV, so you know it is an MS asset, so it doesn't really bother me much.
I'll use a non-permanent.
Yeah, maybe the
just wipe it off.
something like wipe off.
Dude, that is so cool. I cannot. I mean, I'm on at 360. Look, I mean,
There it is.
I know this interview is about you and your cool
That's
stuff,
right,
but dude,
But see
Frank,
how
I'm on
we can
a
involve the
360.
audience
and how easy it is to get your stuff on.
That's right.
You know what, man? When somebody takes this home and starts playing with it and puts their own face on something in Space War, because I'm seriously that excited about it. You know, I feel
Yeah.
like a little kid,
Absolutely.
and I mean, I want to print this out and show it to people. You know. Oh man. So can you play it? Can you show a
yeah,
little bit,
we
or-
can actually. For those of you who haven't seen it, there's a retro mode.
So there's the original one,
Here's the original Space War.
and that was designed for the PDP one.
That's correct. This was actually the very first video game, but it was before commercial video games were made popular by Pong and things of that nature. So
Tell me again how they did the graphics for the original, because that's
So,
kind of a cool story.
yeah, in the original version of Space War, there were no graphics displays. Back then, it was punch
they
cards.
didn't have GeForce cards. Yeah.
Exactly. So what they did was they actually had the internal logic in the computer derive voltage, change in voltage, and they hooked that up to an oscilloscope. And by driving it very, very quickly, they could get scanning and scan lines and pretty much exactly the same stuff that happens in a TV today because they knew how TVs worked back then. And they were able to duplicate what a TV does by outputting changes in voltage very, very quickly to an oscilloscope.
Very cool hackers. You know, that's a great idea.
So we can now do the evolved side of this as well, and you can see the evolved side's a little more modern,
A little fancier, yeah.
than the previous side.
So did you write a whole oscilloscope emulator on top of the game, or did
No,
you just...
we just actually used the native GeForce, or I'm sorry, the native ATI card
Yeah.
that's in the Xbox today to be able to do this. And yeah, it turns out they have a lot of the functionality built in to be able to shade and draw textures and that kind of stuff. So again, you can change ships. So one of the things that probably our audience has immediately noticed is that the ships look very jaggy. So there's lots of little jaggy lines and stuff like that on the ships that really indicate to me that anti-aliasing must not be on the Xbox. And so as a result, that makes me very angry. I've paid all this money for this game, and why is anti-aliasing not on? So to give you an idea of how hard, quote unquote, it is to be able to change that. So here's the Space War code, and again, we've given you all this. And right here at the beginning, we have, here's the Space War code, and again, we've given you all this. And right here at the beginning, we have the lines that actually set up the graphics device. And because we've given you a framework, we can actually go in, and you'll notice that we have IntelliSense on all this, so you don't even have to really know it that well. You just need to flip down here. And there's prefer multisampling. Gets or sets a value that indicates whether to enable a multisampled back buffer. So we kind of want to enable that. Because we've paid all this money for the Xbox GPU, we want to actually utilize it. So again, we go ahead and we compile. You can see it compiles C# very, very fast as usual. Go ahead and do the build. We'll deploy that. We'll skip all the deploying of the files that are already there.
Yeah, much
now we're
faster.
back in here. So now you'll notice that the jaggies on the ships are much nicer than before. So we're actually multi-sampling, and we have the anti-aliasing turned on. Now, for those of you who've actually done native Xbox development, you'll realize, or you may be a little envious, because it's not actually one little command line on the graphics device to change to multi-sampling. There's actually a bunch of stuff you have to do to make that happen. That's where XNA comes in.